Hi, everyone. Welcome to Financial Fridays for August month. I mean, I can't believe that time has flown by so quickly. I remember just a few weeks ago, I mean, it was our last session, and time is just flying by so quickly. I can't, before we know it, December will be upon us and it will be starting a new year. So let's try and make the most of what is left of 2022 so that it's at least a financially successful one. So yeah, the last discussion we had was around reviewing your financial plan, and basically what I've done is I've created a financial wellness calendar, which is available on my social media platforms. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll be able to access that calendar, and it's just a guide that takes you through what you can or how you can go about planning for your financial wellness for the year. So again, it's something that you can use. It's useful in terms of helping to guide you one step at a time so that, managing your financial affairs doesn't become something that is overwhelming or complex. And I think when you break down your plan step by step, then it does make things a lot more easier for you to achieve. So today we're going to be talking about how you can make more money. And I think the first thing I want to talk about is, one of the biggest mistakes that we make when it comes to money is the limit we place on ourselves. And that has a lot to do with our mindset. So how much wealth we create and attract into our lives can be prevented by our limited beliefs and thoughts that we have around money. Now, if like me, you grew up in a home where money was always short, then you most likely grew up with a scarcity mindset. So what do we say, or what do we mean when we say you have a scarcity mindset? So generally, people who have this tend to focus on the things that are lacking. You always see problems, you never see solutions, or hardly ever see solutions or opportunities. And there's always a limit in terms of what you think you can have or what you think you can earn. Another reference that we talk about is a money container. Now, this is a reference we use when we talk about how much money your mind can hold. I'll give you an example. If you believe that you will earn only a certain amount of money, then the probability or the chances of you earning anything more than that is going to be very slim. And when you have that limiting belief, you'll never start or begin to attract opportunities and that will give you that opportunity to earn more than what you've set your money container to attract. So one of the things you need to start looking at doing is identifying that. And a question you can ask yourself is, look at your current salary. Would you be able to double that in a year? And if you start feeling uncomfortable about the amount that you've doubled, then you know that you have a limiting belief. So what is the solution to making more money? And there's a whole lot of tips that I'm going to share with you later. But if you want to be wealthy, then the obvious thing to do is obviously to make more money. If you feel like you are not making ends meet, then the solution is to make more money. And if you desire a lifestyle of comfort and financial freedom, then again, the solution is to make more money. It's that simple. Yet, the simple strategy is not easy for everybody to apply. And again, we're going to share a few ideas on how you can start making more money. But before we do that, again, I want to stress the importance of a wealth mindset. And if you look at those that have achieved wealth, what is the thing that separates them from those that haven't? It all boils down to their mindset. So even people that come from poor homes, if they have or have learned to create a wealth mindset, then that's how they start making their wealth. They can sit back and play the victim and say that, oh, because they came from a scarcity or a poor home, they'll never be able to be wealthy. And that, again, is a limiting belief that a lot of us have. So when you have a wealth mindset, you are trained to see opportunities instead of problems. And you also look for solutions to problems that you can, and you'll consider ways in which to monetize those solutions. If take COVID as an example, businesses were closing down, people were losing their jobs, but there were some businesses that were actually created during COVID and some businesses that actually became very successful. A lot of people obviously were forced to change their business models. And if these people sat back and just accepted that their situations, the way the world was or the way the situation was during these moments of scarcity, they would have never thrived or survived during a time when others were failing. Now, again, one of the contributing factors why many people stay unemployed is because they rely on others to employ them for a salary. You hear stories of people getting retrenched a few times in their career, and they keep asking, "Why me? Why me? Why me?" Again, these are not helpful or empowering questions to be asking. The question we should be asking is, how do I use this opportunity to improve myself or to find alternative income? And there's several opportunities available for people to rely on themselves to generate an income. And we know that this is not easy to apply in practice for everybody. But if more of us started to think about life in this way, then we will start to shift away from being a victim to becoming a victor. Sorry, I'm battling a cough I've had for the last 3 weeks, but I think there's something going around in the air. Anyways, another expression that illustrates this thinking is that what we give our attention to grows. So when we focus on negativity, we end up attracting more negativity into our lives. So if you're going through a tough time and you're feeling sad and miserable, think about some of the things that you will need to do to get out of that negative space. Are you going to sit back, listen to sad music when you're down and feeling depressed? Because we all know that if you're sitting and listening to sad music, you're not going to feel happier. You're going to feel sadder because you're focusing that attention on your negative space. But if you start to look for the positives, then slowly but surely you're going to start to feel better. And one of the things you can do around that is to practice gratitude. The same applies to having a wealth mindset versus a poverty mindset. When you have a wealth mindset, you tend to focus on the positives. And even if you're faced with a problem, a challenge, or a negative solution, a situation, you will always look for the positives in that experience, the solutions, or even the opportunity. And we know, again, I know it's not always easy to apply in practice. It's easy to talk about this and not be in a situation where you're dealing with uh, an emotionally tough and challenging situation. But hindsight is something that it's a beautiful gift that we can use to our advantage in the future. And if you look back at when everybody was in global lockdown, what would you have done differently? Or if even before COVID happened, if you had the foresight to see that COVID was going to come, what would you have done to make sure that you actually prevented yourself from that situation, or financially specifically? So let's talk about some options in which you can consider to start making money. And again, these are very common things that you can do that a lot of people are doing. And especially for the young people that are listening, I think that these are some ideas that you can start working on instead of just relying on your salary or your wages that you earn from your employer. So one of the things you can start doing is you can start a side hustle. And this could be small little things. You can start off small, buy and sell products, buy low and sell at a higher price so that you can make a profit. Or you can start marketing a service that people in your circle, in your neighborhood, in your community, that they actually require. I'm a technically challenged person, and I say that often. And there's always opportunities for people, especially younger people, if they're more digitally savvy, to offer those skills to people like myself. The next thing that you can do is to start learning a new skill. And again, you can take a course, you can read a book, or even just simply improving your education qualifications. And there's a lot of things that you can do that does not require an investment of money and time. Well, it obviously requires time, but not money. There's a lot of things you can watch YouTube videos. There's a lot of courses that's available to you on LinkedIn. So take advantage of those to try and improve on your skills. You can also improve on a skill that will specifically help you to elevate your career. Well, obviously, if you're in a specific job, you want to make sure that you're climbing the corporate ladder or even applying for promotions. And the only way you're going to do that is by gaining experience and by improving on your skills. Another thing that you can do is to update your CV and start actively applying for higher positions. Now, a lot of people only update their CV once, they are looking to move or they've gotten retrenched. And my suggestions to the young people is to, when you learn a new skill or you've completed a specific project or a task at work, make sure that you're keeping a record of this on your CV. Another thing that you can do is to network. Now, a lot of us were not born into maybe circles where networking is something that is very beneficial. So a lot of us have to work our way into a circle whereby we are exposed to different opportunities. So align yourself with people, like-minded people, people that are successful. Find a mentor if you can, someone who will guide you, someone older, someone that you've identified as a person that could be your role model, and reach out to them. A lot of the times, mentors are willing to help you to improve on your skills. Another thing you can learn to do is to invest in shares, property, or businesses. Now, we want to find ways to create passive income or multiple streams of income. Passive income is basically when you're earning money and you don't really have to work for it. And a lot of the times it's things like if you're investing in property and you're renting out that property, that's passive income. If you've invested in shares and you're getting dividends, that's passive income. If you have a business in which you're not involved in, or not, you might be a silent partner, or you might not be actively running or managing that business, the profits that you generate from that business is passive income. So we want to get you to a point where you are building passive income and you also creating multiple streams of income so that you're not reliant only on one income. And in this way, even if you were to lose your job, you're not left distraught. You still have options available to you. Now, there are many opportunities available to make more money if you are open to the idea. And I think that's a starting point, is to be open to the idea. I wish that, when I was younger and starting my career, that somebody had had that conversation with me, because maybe it would have, even if I didn't do something about it at that point, it would have been, the seed would have been planted. And when the opportunity did arise and the time was right, then, maybe things would have planned out differently. So if you really wish to improve on your financial situation and you want to change your financial outcomes, then you must make the effort to invest your time and whatever resources you have into making your desired lifestyle become a reality. So I want to leave you with a question, and I'll just have a look now to see if there are any questions. But what are you going to start doing today to shift the way that you think, feel, and behave with money, specifically around creating money? I'm trying to see if there's any questions or comments. Bear with me for a second. Just a comment. That's a great piece of advice. People may think it's easy, but it can be difficult to train your own mind. Yeah, it is not that easy, especially if you did not come from an environment where these things were taught to you. And again, if there's any parents listening on this chat or on on this call, I think, again, very important that we use the right language and implant the right belief system in our children, because when they are younger and we start having these conversations in a more meaningful and and empowering manner, the it's easier for them because it becomes automatic. And I always use this example of tying our shoelace. When your child is younger or small and they learn to tie their shoelace for the very first time, you've got to teach them a few times until they get it right. But now that they're teenagers, they don't think about when they tie their shoelace. They put their shoes on and they automatically tie their shoelace without any effort or thought going into that process. And when it comes to an abundance mindset, a wealth mindset, and even wise money decisions, when we plant those positive, empowering conversations and thoughts in their minds when they are young, then it becomes automatic. And I'll give you a simple example. If you create a habit of every time they earn money, that they've got to save some of that money towards their goals or towards their future. When they're older, paying themselves first is not something that they have to think about. It's become a part of their habit. So that's just one piece of advice that I can give to any parents listening. Another comment we've got is any advice on how to start investing when you don't have a lot of funds? Okay. And again, I mean, shares are expensive. And generally, if you have a lot of you need to have a lot of money to invest in shares to make it worth your while. But there are always other opportunities or other investment instruments that you can use, like unit trusts, Satrix funds. I'm not sure globally, obviously what all the other investment options and products are, but the unit trusts and it basically gives you an opportunity to invest in shares. So even if you start small and you build that, you build your investment up, that is one of the ways to start. And I think the most important thing is to just start. A lot of people feel that if they don't have lots of money, they can't be investing. And I think that is actually not true. The most important thing is to start. And, as time builds up, you increase that investment over the years. And you'll see, in a few years' time, you'll see the compounded growth is actually, you've benefited from that. And whatever amounts you've started off with small, even if you're a youngster, I encourage my daughter as well. Every time she receives money as a gift, I make sure that she puts some of it away. We've started a share trading portfolio for her, just so that she can get used to the idea of what it means to invest in the share market. How do you know an investment is legit and not a scam? I know a lot of people who choose not to invest because they're afraid of being scammed. Oh, yes. And there are lots of people out there that get sucked into scams. And I think you've got to find the right advisor, firstly. And I think we did touch on this in our last session. The best way to do this is to find an advisor that works either with a bank or with a insurance or asset management company. You can also ask people for referrals. Do your homework, do your research, make sure that everything is legit. And there are ways that you can actually pick up if something is not legit. As an example, if someone is promising you ridiculously absurd returns, then it's probably not it's not legit. So just be aware of those things. And I know a lot of people get scammed by that because they get sucked into this. I can become rich, I can make lots of money, or you can earn a huge return. And then they find out that, that person has run away with their money. So just be careful of little things like that. Okay. I think that's it for the questions. I hope to see you soon, end of September. It'll be spring here in South Africa, and I look forward to chatting to you then. Please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can find me on YouTube, Jean Archery. I do share a lot more videos and tools and tips. My company is called Money Messages, and you can also connect with me on LinkedIn as well as Facebook, where again I share a lot of resources. You can also email me or go onto my website. It's www.moneymessages.co.za, and you can subscribe to my newsletter. I have created a newsletter that is specifically deals with creating a wealth mindset. I'm participating in Money Smart Week South Africa, which takes place next week. So again, we'll be sharing a lot of tools and content and resources that you can use to help build your wealth mindset. So hope everybody has an awesome weekend and that you found that there was some value in this conversation. And I'll see you at the end of next month.